up here. I shouldn't imagine there's going to be much going on up here that's particularly interesting. Oh dear. Office facing this way, screens facing this way. Not good. Yeah, I think it's not automatic entry. I have to use intercom there to speak to a member of staff, and they let you in if you have an appointment. And then I've got big vehicle gates here, very similar to the one in Great Yarmouth when the van took me in, went into something like this, and then you get out of the van once you're inside and they take you into the building. Let's see if old matey boy there closed the blinds. No, just left them wide open. So I'm just gonna sit here.
We've got a custody R. We've got sensitive police data. And we've got one man standing on a public pavement who notices something that should never happen at a secure facility. Police computer screens visible from the here's the twist. This isn't about shouting or disorder. It's about something much subtler, authority versus accountability. On one side, an inspector inside a building responsible for protecting highly sensitive information. On the other, a member of the public calmly pointing out what appears to be a GDPR follows is a fascinating power shift. Instead of a simple "thank you" and immediate correction, the conversation pivots. Questions are asked. Boundaries are tested. Jurisdiction gets here's the big: a citizen identifies a potential data breach. Should the focus be on fixing it, or on scrutinizing the person who went with me? Because this interaction becomes a quiet chess match about legal limits, public filming, and how quickly authority can flip the narrative.
Pretty damn clearly. Excuse me there, Constable. Let's have a second. Just your colleague in there just noticed that as I'm stood outside here in a public area, I can see his whole computer screens. And I don't know what's on there, but I should imagine he's probably dealing with a lot of personal and private information on there. Just this constable in here in the corner, in the back right. But you know, obviously he can't see. He's noticed that I'm there, but he hasn't done anything to close the blinds. Would you mind just letting him know that?
Yeah, I'll send an email to the sergeants in custody.
Can you just pop in and let him know now? Otherwise, I'm going to stand here and I'm going to film all that. I was just saying that, they're bars, they're not blinds. Or is that a blind that pulls down? Yeah, I think that's a blind that pulls down. So definitely can sort that out, no problem. Hello there, how are you?
I'm good, how can I help?
Yeah, not too bad. Inspector, is it?
Yes.
Inspector, sorry?
Neville.
Neville, nice to meet you, Inspector. As I was just saying to the constable, obviously from here, public area,
Yeah.
just your screen's there. These ones aren't fine because they're facing away from the window,
Yeah.
but yours facing this way. I should imagine that you're probably dealing with a lot of private, personal, sensitive information on those computers.
Right.
Obviously, if I can see that from a public place, that's a massive data breach on behalf of the constabulary. So, as I was saying, if he could just ask you to close your blinds, and they need to stay closed if you're working on that computer.
Sorry, and who are you?
Pardon?
And who are you?
Member of the public that is very concerned with GDPR breaches from the government.
Okay. Fine. And what have you got on your...
Notice what Adam doesn't say. He doesn't claim to be press. He doesn't say he's from a regulatory body. He simply identifies himself as a concerned member of the public. That's important, because in these types of encounters, perceived authority shapes doesn't fit into a neat institutional box, it creates discomfort. Officials are used to interacting with people in defined roles: suspect, complainant, colleague. But an informed civilian with a camera? That's harder to hear. Something to think about. In a democracy, accountability isn't exclusive to internal oversight bodies. Sometimes it comes from
about data breaches,
yeah.
and obviously I am as well.
Okay.
And if you've got anything on there that obviously is concerning for both of us,
Right.
then obviously that would be a concern. So,
Okay. So if there
you
is
happy?
if there is anything on there that
Yes.
is of concern, that will be evidence that I'll be sending to the Information Commissioner's office.
Absolutely fine. But I need to make sure
But that's
that
not your
yours-
jurisdiction. That's the jurisdiction of the ICO. I'm afraid. Data breaches. So, unfortunately, unless you have, what's the word? A power that you're going to use to search my device, it's not something that I'm at liberty to.
So are you going to be leaving now?
Pardon?
Are you going to be leaving now?
Once I've confirmed that you close the blinds and you're complying with data.
This is the moment everything shifts from casual observation to potential compliance process. Some of the most sensitive personal data imaginable: names, addresses, alleged offenses, custody status. If those screens are visible from a public walkway, that's not just a design flaw. That's a physical data security D. Here's the irony. In an age of encrypted databases and cybersecurity PS, sometimes the biggest vulnerability is something as basic as an OpenB hacking required. No password cracking. Just line of S. Here's the real question. If someone outside can see it clearly with their own eyes, how long has that been? Exposure isn't about intention. It's about V right now, visibility.
And that is how you shut down an inspector. So as I said, we will sit here and wait and see if he does close the blinds. There we go, simple as that. Oh, or perhaps not. Going to try the other side. There we go. So you can see that they obviously don't have that blind closed nearly enough, because it jams on everything as it goes down. So obviously this has been a huge and ongoing problem here at Eastbourne Custody Centre, or Investigation and Detainee Handling Centre, as they call it, which is a bit of a mouthful for what's basically a PIC. So I just want to wait for that constable to come back out, who I originally spoke to. Yes. Thank you for that. Just before you go, just so I have for the records for the ICO, just so I've spoken to, can I just get your collar number there?
Yeah, it's Echo Bravo 157.
Echo Bravo 157. Brilliant. Thank you. Cheers. You too. So we've got 2 constables in an unmarked vehicle. Yep, okay, unmarked vehicle, Echo Foxtrot 19 Juliet Lima. So it's an Eastbourne unmarked vehicle for you, Sussex. Thing is, all it takes is A, for the blind to be closed, or B, to rearrange the office so his computer is in this corner here of the office, facing away from the window, and it's problem solved at the end of the day. But yeah, so this is Eastbourne Custody Centre. And this has been Sussex. So there we go, we've actually got another one. It's a little bit higher up, and it's not on at the moment, but you've got a screen up there facing the window as well. I can't actually say that one's a data breach. As I said, it's not being used, and there's nothing on there to display that is a huge potential breach, and something that Sussex Constabulary need to work on. There we go. I'm going to move on to home, actually. I think I might stop somewhere on the way home. We will see. It's too late in the day to do a job centre. I'm not sure what else is on the way home from here that I haven't done before, but...
Notice the restraint here. There's no confrontation yet. Jew actually strengthens the credibility of the concern. Instead of escalating immediately, he waits. He watches to see if staff will notice and correct it themselves. That patience matters, because it shows the issue isn't being manufactured, it's being Let's be clear, GDPR principles don't just apply to digital breaches. They apply to any unauthorized access, including visual exposure from AP. This becomes